Beloved friends, welcome to PMC English. We are traveling in the path of Dhammapada and also understanding the Buddha and his philosophy and his Dhamma. We have discussed on various topics. The art of living, eightfold path of Buddha, and also about the meditation and different stages of meditation. And we have also understood the art of living and the characteristics of a student, disciple and devotee. So why we are discussing about all these things in Dhammapada? Why? Because when a man travels in the path of spirituality, he should maintain certain discipline in life to attain that nirvana, and also understand the way of living and art of living. The Buddha says character building is the most important thing for a human being to develop in the outer world and also to develop in the spirituality. So, in order to maintain character, you have to follow the 5 precepts and you have to practice the meditation at least daily for 4 hours, and in 24 hours you have to lead your life with awareness and with witnessing. Every moment aware, every moment alert. This is the path of a meditator to attain the salvation and liberation and to get rid of all the miseries in the life. What is the difference between the Buddha and all other enlightened masters? What is his peculiar quality and what is the different way he had shown to the mankind to attain the salvation and nirvana, and how it is differ from other ways of all other enlightened masters. India is one of the most ancient countries in the world, and it is the land of Satya and Dharma, and so many enlightened masters have born on this earth, and they have contributed their wisdom for the welfare of the mankind and for the welfare of the humanity, and also they have sown the seeds of wisdom in every heart of a human being. With that wisdom, so many people have attained enlightenment and salvation and liberation by practicing the meditation and yoga and in the path of devotion. So many have enlightened in those days. So every enlightened master have shown a different way to attain the nirvana. But the ways are different, the paths are different, but the goal is one. Then how the Buddha is different from other spiritual masters, and what he had contributed to the society, and what is the peculiar character in the Buddha. If we divide the era of spirituality in 2 parts, just like we divide the years like before Christ and after Christ, likewise we can divide the era of spirituality in 2 parts, that before Buddha and after the Buddha. Buddha is a spiritual rebel. He had condemned all the blind beliefs, all the discriminations, and also all the different types of negativities in the world. And he had contributed a new path, new way for the birth of new humanity on this earth. He had contributed so much to the whole world. Buddha has born before 25 centuries ago, and his wisdom was eternal, and it was most relevant to the modern society also. A man can die, but the wisdom was eternal. He had brought a revolution in the spirituality by condemning all the old rotten beliefs and also unnecessary things and unnecessary illusions which are going on before the Buddha. In the ancient period in India, most of the enlightened masters have given importance to only for salvation and liberation. I mean, the mukti and moksha, that is enlightenment. So, in order to attain the enlightenment, you have to ignore the body, ignore the mind, and also leave all this materialistic world, and you have to go to the forest areas to do the sadhana, and you have to renounce the world to attain that enlightenment. And this is the old ancient Indian technique. So many rishis and munis are doing like that only. Nowadays also we are seeing so many people who had renounced the world and doing their sadhana and doing their practice in the Himalayas and in so many areas. So they have condemned the body, mind, and they have told that Jagat Mithya Brahma Satyam. This world is a Maya, it's an illusion, and the ultimate consciousness, the universal consciousness is eternal. So you have to leave the world, you have to ignore the world, and you have to ignore your body, mind, and matter. It is a sheer waste of your time by being with the body, mind, and matter. So all these types of philosophies are most popular before the Buddha. But the Buddha had condemned all those philosophies and theologies which are not very down to the earth. Unless until if a man cannot understand the nature of earth, nature of these five elements, this very body, mind and matter, he can't understood and he can't experience the ultimate reality and the ultimate truth. This is what the Buddha says. First of all, understand your body and experience the body up to full extent. I mean, the experience is not that worldly pleasures. You have to see the ultimate truth of your body. And what is the ultimate truth of this physical world and the ultimate truth of this materialistic world? So, if you understand and experience the reality, you will come out of all those illusions, you will come out of all those unnecessary things, then you will know the truth of life and you will understand the truth of life. This is what the Buddha is saying, that body is not an illusion. Why? Because you are living with it. Of course, so many enlightened masters will say body is an illusion and this world is an illusion. But they have said with their own experience, they have seen the ultimate reality and they have experienced the ultimate reality, and they have practically experienced that this very body is a illusion and this material world is an illusion. That is their experience, but not yours. The Buddha says, unless until you experience the reality, the truth of your body, mind and matter, you don't understand the reality of it. So many enlightened masters are saying that body is a illusion. And these people who are traveling in the path of spirituality, just they are believing it, but they don't have any experience. They don't even try to experience it. In so many scriptures and so many enlightened masters have saying that this very body is an illusion. But most of the people, majority of the people, they are living with this physical body and they are enjoying with this body and they are leading their life with full extent with body, mind and matter. They don't even think that this body is an illusion. Why? Because they are experiencing it, they are living with it. How they believe that body is an illusion? For them, body is a truth. Why? Because they are living with it. Unless until a man experiences the ultimate reality and unless until he when he experiences his consciousness, he don't know what is the truth of this body, mind and matter. The Buddha says, first understand your body and understand the body language and see the ultimate reality of this body and experience the inner reality of the body, not the outer one, inner reality. This very body is made up of cells and it has been comprises with 5 elements, I mean Panchabhutas. Many people will experience the 4 elements in the body. So while we come in contact with the outer world, so we have the 5 elements in the outer world and also in the inner also. Inner nature of your body also is comprises with 5 elements and the outer world is also comprises with 5 elements. This whole life is going on with the fluctuations, sensations which are coming across with the uniting of this 5 elements, outer and inner. We are getting so many experiences in the body. I mean, we will get different types of experiences in meditation. While we are doing meditation, we will experience so many experiences with these 5 elements. You will get sweat, you will feel heat, and also so many other sensations, cold, different types of experiences you will get in meditation, and also you will experience in the normal life also. So, in order to understand the nature of the body, you have to understand the nature of these 5 elements, how they are working in the body, and how the body is reacting to that, and how the body is reacting to the outer world, and how this life is going on, and how these cells are working in the body, and what is the nature of this body. You have to understanding it. So when you understand the reality and truth of this body, then you will come to the mind. What is the nature of mind? And what is the difference between the mind and brain? The brain is a physical part. It will come by birth. The mind is nothing but your society and what you are experiencing with the society, family, friends, and with the other people. This all comprises your mind, your name, your status, your caste, religion, and also your good and bad, your philosophies, your knowledge, your wisdom, your gurus. All this comprises your mind. Mind is nothing but your society. So when you understand the nature of this mind, then you will understand the reality of your life. So the Buddha says, if you want to travel in the spiritual path, first experience the truth of this body and understand the nature of your mind. What is the nature of your mind? The mind will always cling to the past or future, but it won't stay in the present moment. It works like a pendulum, always roaming here and there, but it won't stop in the middle. When the mind stops in the middle, without any fluctuations, without any hindrances, then you will come into the present moment. Then you will experience the meditativeness and you will experience the no mind state. So the Buddha had understand the practical reality, the ground reality of the body, mind and matter. He will say that all this materialistic world is composed of nothing but wavelets. So if we see the periphery, you will see the solidity in it. But if you understand the inner reality, inner truth, all this world, your very body is composed of wavelets. You can experience this in your meditativeness. You can see the reality if you see the inner experience. So that is the main thing you are going to experience in the meditation. So the Buddha says how he is differ from other enlightened masters means he will see the ground reality. Other enlightened masters had only given importance to the liberation and salvation only. You have to renounce the world, you have to renounce the body, mind. This was nothing. The Brahma is the eternal and that is the ultimate truth. So this very body is a waste and sheer waste. So they have seen that ultimate goal only in their life, but they have ignored the physical world. But the Buddha says, unless until you don't experience the body, mind and matter, you don't understand the ultimate truth of body, mind and matter, you can't experience the ultimate truth. Why? Because you have to cross all these stages. First body, next mind. The third one is emotional body, I mean feelings, emotions and sensations. And next you will enter into the your consciousness level. So if you don't understand these three stages, you don't know what is the inner experience, what is the ultimate reality. So first of all, understand this. To understand the body, in order to purify your body, mind and your heart, you have to travel in the path of purification. The Buddha path was, it's a path of purification. Vishuddhi Marga. How the body will be purified, how the mind will be purified, and what is the technique for it. When you enter into the meditativeness, when you live in the present moment, your mind will get collapsed. The cessation of mind will be done at that state. And ultimately, you will see the reality which has hidden in you. And finally, you will experience the ultimate goal. When you understand when you see the ground reality, practical reality of the body, mind and matter, when you become witness to the body, mind and matter, when you become aware of your body, actions, thoughts and emotions and feelings, then you will understand the nature of it. Automatically, when you understand the nature of all these things, then you will get rid of them. You will come out of it. So what is the nature of your mind? The first one is craving and the other is aversion. The mind will cling to the interested things and what it was possessing, whether it is good or bad, it depends on that situations and circumstances. So when you see the practicality, it will cling to that. One is craving, it will crave to the interested things and it will get aversion when you have the negative things in your life. It will always works like that. So the Buddha says, the Buddha's path was, it's a path of purification. Unless until body, mind and heart will not be purified, will get purified, then ultimately you will enter into the enlightenment process. The purification is must. All these meditation techniques, I mean that Anapanasati or Vipassana and all other meditation techniques, what is the goal of all meditation techniques was the purification of body, mind. So the purification will come when you practice the 5 precepts and 10 paramis and also a very disciplined life, your body will get purified. And when you understand the reality of mind and when you understand the practicality of mind, you will see the ultimate goal of your life. So the Buddha had given a new way to the mankind. While comparing to the other enlightened masters, he had shown a path of truth. He will say that every moment of your life, every action of your life, every gesture of your life should be truthful and come out of all illusions and understand the ultimate truth. This is what he says, the right paradigm. Life is a misery. There is a causes for misery. If you understand the causes, then you will search for a solution. And what is the solution to get rid of all the miseries in the life? That is, you have to practice the eightfold path in your life. The art of living, the eightfold path, the Ashtanga Marga, is the most relevant thing to the modern society also. And it will be relevant to the upcoming generations also. It is the ultimate truth. So if you practice the eightfold path in your life, you will get the art of living. If you get the art of living, then you will know the art of dying also. Especially, an individual should learn 4 arts in their life, especially. The first one is art of listening. If you listen carefully when others are telling, then the next step was you will learn it. You will get the art of learning. When you learn properly, then you will implement in your life. That is art of living. When you know the art of living, and ultimately you will understand the art of dying also. Dying also is an art. Everybody, they don't understand how to die. So many people will die with craving, aversions, so many number of desires, and also with all these illusions, with confused state, they will left their body. But that is not the right death. That is not the art of dying. The art of dying is that you have to declare your death before 1 week or 3 months before going to that. That is the Mahaparinirvana. You have to know the death time, and you have to experience the death while you are living. That is we call the Samadhi. So the Buddha had given a completely a scientific process of meditation, the path of purification, and he had given so much of philosophy. And in the coming episodes we are going to discuss on different theories and different sutras given by the Buddha and in the Dhammapada. So we are going to discuss on it. So the Buddha is a spiritual scientist. Why? Because he had given a spiritual path in a very scientific way, and he is a very creative and is a very peculiar, and also is just like a Himalayan range. He is eternal. He is the main founder of meditation. Of course, before the Buddha also they have given importance to meditation, but that is not in the very scientific way. They have given especially importance to devotion, yoga, and all those things. But after Buddha, the Buddha had given to importance to meditation. Meditation is the only way to attain the salvation or nirvana. Most probably he had given in a very scientifical way. He had condemned all the same old rotten beliefs, caste, religion, and many discriminations in his time, and he has contributed so much to the humanity. So the Buddha is a very important enlightened master on this whole earth. Many have travelled in his path and attained enlightenment on his time, and also in the modern era also. So he had given a different type of philosophy in a very scientific way, and also given a new path for the new humanity. So friends, understand the reality and travel in the path of truth, and as early as possible attain enlightenment in this life only. Why? Because enlightenment is your birthright. So you have listened to my words with patience and love. I bow down to you. Thank you very much.